Hey guys,
Hello.
welcome. I am Sean. I'm Sean.
You're Shaman.
Oh boy, we're starting off great. I'm Yolanda. This is Shaman.
I'm Yolanda. This is Shaman.
We're the Harpers.
Yes.
We're co-founders of Harper Therapy here in the Lutz area, the Tampa Bay area. I think I should stop talking. We have some tips.
Can you tell it's the end of the day?
It's the end of the day.
And our brains are mush.
A little bit. But we have some great tips. You have some great tips to share. We do.
Have some good tips.
That you
about
put together.
Quality time.
Quality time. The importance of quality time in our relationships.
Right. Quality time is very important in our relationships.
Well, and again, we love to come on and help couples connect more deeply with tips to improve your relationship. And quality time is a big component.
Right. I mean, if you're like us, time it's hard to come by, right?
It is. If you look at we have a shared Google Calendar.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of families have like a shared whatever calendar.
Right.
And when you look at that, it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Right. You could fill every day.
There's not a day on the calendar that doesn't have a red dot. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Right? The calendar on your phone.
I think on mine's blue dots.
Okay. Well, it doesn't have a dot.
Right.
You should change your dots
you're
to
right.
red.
You're
Match
right.
my dots.
Every day it's got multiple things going on, and
Right.
every day's busy. And you want your time with your partner to feel significant. I mean, at least I think we do. We desire that, right?
Yeah, and it can get lost so easily with all
Right.
the day-to-day.
But I think with a little bit of practice and maybe a few tips, we can.
Yeah. So,
So the first one is quality over quantity. All right. So what we're talking about here is it really needs to be focused on quality. And I know that sounds crazy because it's not just spending time together.
It's focused time.
Right. It is focused
It's intentional time.
It's not just sitting there on your phones in the same space, not talking or engaging at all. It's
right. That's why a lot of people feel more lonely. Like there's a loneliness epidemic, right? And
Sure.
part of that is because we're not as focused on quality.
right. I think people can literally sit right beside each other and almost not engage at all,
Mm-hmm.
especially in this day and age. We pull out our phone, we stand there, we look at it,
Mm-hmm.
and it almost cracks me up because like sometimes in our family environment, when we're together and all the kids together, and everybody's looking at their phone, and then you kind of stop and you realize nobody said anything in like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, that really bugs me because I'm like, I don't like silence.
It's a little bit of an extrovert.
Right. So we have to be focused on quality versus quantity.
And have that agreement. Like put the phone away, put the distractions aside. Let's
Right.
be here in the space together.
Right. And don't try to give quality time like your leftovers. Right.
Yeah.
You need to
doesn't
make
work.
it a priority.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be, I've
Well,
done
then-
everything else I need to do today, and I might have 2 seconds for you.
Yeah. Because this 2 seconds never comes.
Right. So that kind of takes us to our second thing, which it's intentional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like quality time has to be intentional. It has to be focused. The focus should be on being together.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to intentionally want to do this,
Put it on the calendar. Like in our home, things don't happen unless they're on the calendar.
Right. And
So,
it should be focused on like engaging and interacting,
mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds strange, but you really do have to intend on having quality time together.
Yeah.
And if you're not intentional about it, it can end up looking like a Friday night date night at the grocery store. Yeah.
We might have done that a time or
we might have been
two.
there.
And then we were like, what are we doing? This is not fun.
Right.
This is not connecting. This is us arguing about what is on our grocery list.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it has to be focused on quality versus quantity.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be intentional and focused. And then that kind of brings us to our third point, which it needs to include some retreats. And I say retreats with like quotes because I think it's so easy to go, oh gosh, retreats and get away and all,
Some time away.
Right.
Yeah.
I think getting away and pulling yourself out of the norm is very important for relationships.
It's so hard to plan for, especially when you've got busy family activities, kids, those kinds of things, job, responsibilities. And I'll be honest, like the first time we did this was for our 10th anniversary, planned a trip. I was terrified.
Right.
I was like, ooh, this is like days together.
But like we needed that.
We did. I didn't realize how much we needed it until it happened. But I was a little bit nervous that we were going to have so much focused time. And then once we took that step, it was like, okay, now we need to do this intentionally on a regular basis.
And it doesn't have to be so grandiose or crazy. I mean, it could be a day trip. Mm-hmm. It could be, I don't know that a date really counts as retreat, but I'd say a day trip or a weekend away. It doesn't have to be far away. Mm-hmm. But I think
drop the kids at the grandparents' house.
Right. Right. It could be like a staycation, but be wary of that because you need to get. I think an important part of retreating together or getting away is getting out of your daily grind.
Because if it is a staycation, then you still got the laundry sitting around.
Exactly, and if you're like me, you'll go do that stuff, and then thinking, I'll get to our quality time eventually, but you don't. You just end up doing the laundry and the dishes and
right. So being intentional about that, putting plans in place, putting it on the calendar, putting it in the budget.
Right. It does need to be in the budget. Mm-hmm. I know it sounds crazy because we always want to give that our leftovers too.
Right.
We never want to budget for stuff like that. But I think if you really want some quality time in your relationship, you really should budget to get away. Mm-hmm. I don't think it has to be expensive. I don't think it has to be grandiose.
Right.
But I really do think it's important for relationships.
Yeah. Pack up a tent and go camping.
Right. Yeah. Right. No, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you know me. And that kind of dovetails on our last point, which is it really should include some play. Right.
Yeah. It really does. It really, I think we forget that play is one of the things that connects us in our relationship when we are dating. Like, that's the whole purpose of a date, right? It's to...
And it comes so natural to that time of a relationship.
Yeah.
And it's so weird how naturally that goes away.
It just
when you move into, like, marriage and kid. I think mostly the grind of kids. Mm-hmm. That whole messy middle stuff. Play just kind of... You don't have time for it, or you don't think you have time for it, but you
time
really
or energy or money or
maybe it's energy.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah, but again, that's something that you can plan for and make reserve for. Even an energy reserve, you can be intentional about, so that you can say, okay, I'm reserving this energy. I'm going to get some extra rest or whatever. Right. Put things in place so that when we go and play, it's a good time.
And I think it's really important, play. Yeah. I mean, it's very important to go out. I mean, get away and go out and do something that is just fun. Mm-hmm. You know, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. If it's painting, or in our case, we like to go paddleboarding a lot. I love to hike. You know, play is very important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever you guys define play as, and that can be even, you know, put some music on and dance around, right?
Right.
Any number of things can be playful, but it's reconnecting. It's having kind of a sense of adventure, laughing together.
Right.
All of those things. You kind of play. The definition of play is you just kind of lose time and lose, like, you're just here in the moment. You're in the flow.
I think that laughing together is very important.
Yeah.
Covers a multitude of sins.
It does. Look, I mean, part of those feel-good chemicals that happen, those endorphins, we can kind of reconnect with those when we're laughing and playful.
Right.
So there's a method.
Right.
There's a plan behind the tips, right?
Right.
Awesome. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's all we got today.
So one of the things that you can do in your relationship to kind of deepen the relationship, to be intentional about some quality time, is to join us for our couples communication workshop.
Yeah.
Coming up September 21st. We are going to give you 6 weeks worth of couples therapy sessions in a day for that busy couple.
Lots of good tools.
lots of really foundational tools so that you can connect more deeply, have a different kind of conversation. Those conversations that you're like, oh, this is going to go bad.
Yeah, the heavy ones.
The heavy ones. Right. Yeah. To have some tools for those, to be able to really see and hear each other more deeply, more intimacy in the relationship. Right. So you can find out more information about the workshop by clicking on the link. If you have any questions, give us a call, 813-434-3639. Otherwise, happy Tuesday.
Is it only Tuesday?
I almost forgot what day it was. Wow. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.